Buying a home. What is the best strategy to submit an offer for a house in a warm or hot housing market? In a housing market where multiple offers for a home are expected, what is the best way to submit an offer to ensure success without overpaying? Should I submit my very best offer right away, submit an offer that is slightly above asking price and wait for a counter, or something else? Any tips will be appreciated. All right, so my answer is not going to focus so much on the cat and mouse of the actual negotiations, but rather I want to talk about how to identify and present your edge, because really the dollars and cents, are not going to be, usually to the surprise of many, first-time home buyers, the dollars and cents are usually not the make or break factor. Rather, there's usually non-monetary factors that will close the deal for you. So let's figure out what is your edge. And here's some common ones. Are you all cash? Right? Being an all cash buyer gives you a tremendous edge. In some markets, unfortunately, everyone's all cash, so that's not really much of an edge. So you need to figure out, either through speaking to your broker or just kind of knowing your area, whether or not this is something worth accentuating or not, or whether or not it just makes you one of many. And what I mean by all cash is, it doesn't mean you literally have, $1 million in cash, drug dealer money in your pocket or anything like that. But rather it means that you don't need to get a mortgage, or you're not making this deal contingent on a mortgage. And the reason that's important to a seller is because they don't have to wait around to see if the bank approves you. They know once we set a closing date, that closing date is going to happen, because you're not waiting for Citibank or Wells Fargo or whoever to approve, your credit score, your employment history. They just know once the closing date is set, you'll be there because you have the money in the bank or something along those lines. Okay. Similarly, very similar is, can you close quickly? And this is really important to buyers sellers, because they want to know when they're going to move, if they're looking to buy their new house and they're doing sort of a flip or an upgrade, or both-sided real estate deals. Certainty on the closing date is really important. What if they sell or buy their new house, but this one doesn't close? Then they're carrying two mortgages. That's really tough for them. So knowing that you can close quickly and on a certain time gives you an edge over other folks who either are uncertain, or because of mortgage reasons, they can't really promise when the closing is going to happen. So certainty and especially speed on closing date can give you an edge. And then lastly, there's sometimes the intangible of, we are the sweet family, meaning if the seller let's just using an example, the sellers are an empty nest couple who have raised their kids from bassinet to college in their family home, their family homestead. This is how they feel emotionally about what they're handing over to somebody else. If you are Zac Efron and plan to turn their house into the next frat house, that might not sit well with them, even if you have a slightly higher offer than everyone else. They might actually prefer to sell to a slightly lower offer, to know that they're handing over their TLC house of love to a similarly, to a family that they can identify with, a young couple with a newborn, or a newlyweds who are just starting to plan their family. That might resonate more with them than I just used the frat house example, but something that doesn't really quite connect with how they feel about the home. So, it doesn't have to be sweet family to sweet family. It could be frat house to frat house, for all I know. Who knows? But whatever, there's some sort of connection in terms of how the sellers, have that emotional connection with what they're selling. So the point is, once you identify what is your edge, what sets you apart, then as long as you're in the ballpark, dollars and cents, you will probably have that's probably a stronger way to close the deal than upping your offer by $5,000 or $3,000. That's just kind of I know it's a lot of money, but in the scheme of things, that is nickel and dimes compared to moving the emotional needle to get the deal closed. I'm giving this answer based on my over almost 20 years of experience as an attorney and as author of the book, How to Buy Your Perfect First Home. Hope you found this helpful. Take care.